My fellow Amazonians, this is Dr. Choayaba. All una please day. I just want to make an update on the third day of our lockdown. I know you are sitting at home in the homeland. I know you've been deprived of your businesses. But as I have said many times, for us to be free from the pain that we have experienced with Cameroon, we have to go through a certain level of sacrifice. This is very important. These are strategies designed to weaken the ability of the enemy. And secondly, more importantly also, to begin to inject doubt in them about their ability and preparedness to continuously occupy Amazonia. Sometimes a struggle is about will. It's about willpower. It may not be about physical strength. It may not be about the amount of resources you have. Sometimes it's about willpower. For more than 40 years, Biya has shown that he is a man of extreme willpower. For those who experience 9 months of ghost towns and civil disobedience in the early 90s, you will remember the famous statement Biya made in Douala, that if Yaoundé breathes, Cameroon is okay. I am not citing here only process. It is important for you to know all those, or 90% plus of those who oppose Mr. Biya have ended up sitting on his lap, being integrated as part of the system of corruption, looting, and killing that they ask people to rise up and fight against. So if there is one thing other than violence that Mr. Biya has shown, it is willpower. He does not give a damn. He stays silent. Every time you pin yourself on TV that he's going to blink, he has never blinked. So we have been raised in a culture where people always blinked. That is why you may call Dr. Choayaba an extremist, that he only likes violence. No. It's about understanding the opponent you are dealing with and how they have survived more than 50 years of opposition. You do not understand them, you can't defeat them. And so each time when these lockdowns are called, the enemy has believed that it's propaganda, that Amazonia has been defeated, that we are divided, that we are fractured, that our own soldiers, the brave patriots of our land, have become kidnappers for ransom. They have believed that this propaganda will end Amazonian resistance or will make you begin to see them as a better alternative. I know you always forget, so I take the time to remind you. More than 1,200 villages were burnt. The Amazonian forces burnt none. More than 30,000 of our people have been killed. Amazonian forces have not killed 100. Thousands and thousands of our people have disappeared. Amazonian forces have not disappeared civilians. Thousands and thousands of our people are in the jails of Cameroon in Cameroon. We hold no Cameroonian presently in our custody. The Ngabu massacre was committed by them. The Pinin massacre, the Santa massacre, Kwakwa, the entire village of Kwakwa that was burnt, including Mamia P, Baby Mata was murdered by them. The children killed in Boya were killed by them. Samsoya, whose head was cut by them. I have said, it is not what we do that makes them hate us, that makes them kill us. It is who we are that hurts and irritates them. They see us as animals who should be their slaves, whose land should be exploited and no finger raised. That is why they are angry. That the people they saw as slaves, as animals, could have the audacity to rise up and ask for rights. They know rights are given only to humans, and we are not humans. We don't have a single La Republique teacher in our jail. We have hundreds of our teachers locked up. Yet the barbarians come to tell you that, they love schools, they love the education of our children more than we do. Pontius Pilate, damn hypocrites. This lockdown has taken them by surprise. They thought they had broken our willpower. They thought they had cornered us. They thought they had propagated the notion of Amazonian division to the extent that you will surrender to their anarchy, corruption, brutality, and hate, which manifests itself on a daily basis in their actions of kale, extortion, and rape. You've given them a bloodied nose in the past 2 days. My people, it takes only one generation to rise up and say this nonsense must come to an end. I remind you, after 18 years in jail, Nelson Mandela was given the opportunity to renounce the right to self-defense, which they call violence, for his release. He wrote a letter from jail and gave it to his daughter to read out loud. Prisoners do not enter into contract. And he made it absolutely clear. The violence is being perpetrated by the white supremacists. Our right to self-preservation has pushed us to the level to arm ourselves just to stay alive. Aung San Suu Kyi, who's been in house arrest in Myanmar, the Nobel Prize laureate, had the opportunity to go into exile than being locked up in house arrest. She said no. Fellow Amazonians, we have to persevere. We are very close. We are the only generation who for 7 years have been written off, disrespected, attacked, undermined. And we have not blinked. That is the victory we have gotten. For the first time in the history of our existence, when we challenge the enemy, you shall not use your own country to decide how Amazonia is going to live. They were able to crawl underground to ask the Swiss to help. We did not blink. They crawled again and asked the Canadians to help. We are the only generation who could get the House of Lords to speak about us, to speak about People they describe as 2 cubes of sugar. Your resilience, your strength, cause the Lord's to bat for you. The most powerful Senate in the world could make resolutions on your behalf. They took a chance for you because they measured and quantified your spirit and your resilience, and they believe you are up to the task. No country takes a chance for weaklings. No country takes a chance for those who easily surrender. No country puts its reputation and credibility on the line for a people who damn not serious. They did it because they know we are serious. It is not only because, it's not because of our pain, it's not because the burned villages, it's not because the murdered people. They did it because we showed leadership of exceptional quality. We articulated our case with excellence. We raised our nation with a flag, an anthem, set up institutions like a people who were prepared. You've taken them by surprise. They are confused. Even colonial governors are locked down or they have escaped into La République. My fellow people, about 100 students, children, have been gathered and taken into the market of Njinikon, where they have been put in containers without ventilation to take pictures and videos to show that children are going to school. Even their barbarian military are home. My people accept the other day, those who get recruited into the Cameroon armed forces do not do so for love for country. Those who have gotten recruited into Amazonian forces have done so because of the love for country. That is the difference. They get recruited because they need a salary. They need money. None of them is prepared to die for Mr. Biya. None of them is prepared to sacrifice their limb for Cameroon. Cameroon has given them nothing. They saw in the police, in the gendarmerie, in the B, an extortion scheme, bribery and corruption, an opportunity to make a living for their families because they knew they were living in a country that had no hope in creating opportunities for them. Do you know the only sustainable sector of the society that remains stuck with the Biya regime? The cartels, the elites. The reason is because there are few risks associated with their treacherous nature. They don't go to fight. That's why most of them have escaped. Chiefs and fawns, custodians of our culture and tradition have escaped. They can't sit around the fireplace. The kitchen is hot. My fellow people, the lockdown ends on the 23rd. I know there are some propagandists, looters, embezzlers, people who have called for the killing of our forces, people who betrayed our refugees, our soldiers in Biafra land, those who have taken the struggle as a place where they can make little money, those who speak the loudest to articulate for the enemy. I know they are going around doing propaganda. The World Economic Forum, in its 2024 risk assessment, has said the greatest risk our societies face today is not maybe state oppression, it's propaganda and lies, it's distortion through social media. And so with the cell phone in your hands, the TV you sit in front has been hijacked by propagandists. liars who know you can consume every garbage. You know who to listen to. You know what information you can believe. That is one of the greatest tools in your hands to shut down these propagandists, people who have divided our struggle, people who have virtually no time to be concerned about how we shall be free. The lockdown will end on the 23rd. This lockdown was called once again to make sure there is a clear distinction between Ambazonia and Cameroon. If independence must mean independence, it must manifest itself in the things we do, how we conduct ourselves. We must show the world what we are doing, what we are against. And the actions we've taken in the last 3 days has shown the world that you want to be free in independence. It was called to make sure that once in our miserable existence, we provide to our children proper education, knowledge, the kind of knowledge my mother taught me how to plow the fields and plant cassava. And the kind of knowledge, not from school, I learned how to use my own hands to make gari, fry it, carry it to Mbon market. The kind of skills our parents gave us to go to the raffia bush and tap palm wine. Never learned that from school. The kind of skills that we all use to turn red mbanga into oil. All the skills, Mama, and all the skills we have. In which school did you learn those skills from? They've turned schools into 4 walls where we're locked up to give us certificates. And then we use the certificate to escape from the country. Or we use the certificate now to go and show to another institution to get some skills for our own survival. Every system of education that people take pride in started this way. They struggled, they limped, they walked, then they began to run. That is why we've called for this lockdown. And we are succeeding, my people. We are succeeding. Let's not give up the little victories we have made because we feel it's going to be difficult going forward. Going backward is death sentence. Going backward is suicide. Going backward is betrayal. This generation cannot betray the next generation. Cannot betray those locked up in jail. Cannot betray all those who have died. We can't. We can't. If you're listening to me, note that we are humans. We will make some mistakes, but our strategies are automated. They self-adjust. We self-correct. We look forward. We have a plan, not only how to free you, but what kind of systems that we are going to put in place to make you richer than you are today, happier than you are today, to plaster laughter on your faces, certainty in the way you do things. Oh God, I look at our roads and I ask myself, are we in 1910? I look at our roads, look at our hospitals, look at our markets. Our cities are all polluted with trash. Countries are turning trash into energy, into clean drinking water, into manure. We have looters who've taken over. They can't do a damn thing. Hail, hail, hail Ambazonia.